So, after making what might be one of the most iconic platform trilogies in gaming history, it was time for something different, something faster. So, how about we make a kart racing game? So let's make one thing clear, this game doesn't have much of a story. Some alien comes to take over the planet and the only way you can make him change his mind is to beat him in a race. Now people all over the world randomly start racing in places to decide who's the best racer to take on this mission. That's it, not much of a deep backstory, right? Then again, it still is more than Mario Kart has ever given us, and let's be honest, Mario Kart is the main reason this game even exists in the first place. A really nice touch is that you can choose your character. There's 3 sets of characters. One is balanced, one is super fast but has slow turning and low acceleration, and one is good acceleration and great turning but slow altogether. Some of these characters are good guys like Crash and Coco, but there's also some bad guys, for instance Cortex or Tiny. When you play as a good guy, you will be guided by Aku Aku, and when you play as a bad guy, you will be guided by Uka Uka. Not only that, but there's also an item in the races that makes you invincible, kind of like the star in Mario Kart. This item is also based on what character you play as. So yeah, the basic gameplay is more or less what you would expect it to be. You're one of Crash Bandicoot's characters in a kart, racing. There's items to fuck over other racers, and you have to finish first to win. Surprising, right? Well, that's just the most basic gameplay. You can complete the game by only doing these kind of races, and you'll be finished around 2 hours or so. But then, when you've completed a world, all the tracks open up to you again and you can do 2 other kinds of challenges. The first is the CTR tokens. This is just a normal race, but you have to collect 3 letters floating somewhere in the stage and finish in first place as well to win these races. These can be a bit tricky sometimes, but usually they are placed in very easy to reach spots, and even if they don't, they show you shortcuts you might have not even known about. You will need to master the game to some extent to get all of these, but it's an easy game, you should be able to get the hang of it pretty quickly. Completing one of these challenges gives you a CTR token of a certain color. Once you've collected all the tokens of that color, you can play a cup. These cups consist of 4 races and they work as you would expect. You get points for every race based on what place you finish in. When you win a cup, you're rewarded with a gem, which does nothing really. It just opens up another race when you manage to get them all. Then there's the time trials. They work just like in Crash Bandicoot 3, you need to finish the race under a certain amount of time, but there's no other races or item boxes. In their place, there's now new time boxes which stop the timer for 1, 2 or 3 seconds respectively. If you manage to get all of the time boxes on a track, you get an extra 10 seconds subtracted from your time. There's 3 tiers of relics you can get. Sapphire, you should be able to get this without a problem, just make sure you pick up most of the boxes and use shortcuts. Gold. This one you should aim to get all of the boxes. If you miss a couple, you don't get the extra 10 seconds, but you'll probably still end up getting gold. Also, falling off the track, forget it. You might as well restart because you're probably not getting gold anymore. Then there's platinum. For this you need to get all the boxes and race damn near perfectly. Also use your drift boost to the maximum potential in all the places you can. These are insanely difficult and you honestly shouldn't expect to be able to get them all if you're not willing to put in a lot of time and effort, combined with a lot of frustration. I mentioned worlds before, I should probably take a bit of time to explain a little bit more about that. Every world has 4 racetracks on it, which have normal races, CTR challenges and time trials. When you've completed all of the normal races in the world, you get to race the boss of the world on a signature track. By the way, not only have bosses got signature tracks, but all the characters do. It's just a nice touch which gives a little bit of feeling and livelihood to the world. Anyway, the bosses are one-on-one races and they have unlimited use of one specific item. They will usually stay in front of you because the game is rubber banded as hell. Not just the boss races, but all the races are. This is also why taking a faster character makes the game much harder. You give up acceleration and turning for speed, but what for? If you're faster, the AI will also become faster. So taking a slow character is the easiest option generally. This all becomes most obvious in the boss races though, where you have to use items to ensure you can even get in front of the boss, which will speed up to get back in front of you immediately. Unless you're on the last lap of course. At that point the rubber band takes a step back to let you win. When you've completed the boss race, you can go back and do the CTR challenges and the time trials. But there's now also a new track that's opened up to you, the Crystal Challenge. In this you need to collect 20 crystals before the timers run out, and that can be rather difficult. For this you get also rewarded with a CTR token. So whether you're good or bad at the game, everyone will roughly have the same difficulty playing this game. I'll leave it up to you to decide whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. I honestly think it's mostly done rather well. You can play this game in one of two ways really. Only doing the normal races, but you can also go 100% a game. And when you do 100% a game, the game will let you race the final boss again, but this time he'll be a lot more difficult. That wraps up the story of the game, but there's also some extra modes which are mainly made for multiplayer, like battle mode or versus mode. There's also a time trial mode which is different from time relic races because now you're actually being timed to be as fast as possible, instead of getting a low time score. This again can be really difficult because you're now racing the Ghost of End trophy. And when you beat that one, you'll be able to race the Ghost of Oxide, which is actually crazy difficult. You need to race perfectly to even have a chance at beating him. Altogether, Crash Team Racing is a great game and a very good way to end a trilogy and an era for Crash Bandicoot. It might have been made mostly to cash in on the popularity of Mario Kart, but the game they made is not just a quick cash grab. It's a good and well designed game. It's got everything from smooth gameplay, a well-crafted world design, and most importantly it ranges from easy to play and fun to insanely hard and challenging for those who want it. They didn't only try to copy Mario Kart, it surpassed it. And more than just a bit too.